हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम। आज हम लोग स्टार्ट करेंगे रिवीजन सेशन 1। द फर्स्ट टॉपिक ऑफ रिवीजन इज PPC. दिस चैप्टर इज फॉर 6 marks in the board examination. The most important points of these chapters are: first, what is meant by economic problem? Now, economic problem is nothing but problem of choice. Second thing is, why does economic problem arise? This topic will come for again 3 marks. Why does it arise? There are 3 reasons to this. First, unlimited human resources, unlimited human wants. Second, limited resources. And third, alternate uses. These 3 points will fetch us 3 marks. Next important topic in this chapter is the central problems of the economy. It must be noted that both developed and underdeveloped countries, they face the central problem. There are 3 central problems of the economy. First, what to produce. Second, how to produce. And third, for whom to produce. Under what to produce, we need to take 2 things. First thing is which commodity to produce. That is, are we producing X or Y? Now, X can be consumer goods and capital goods. So, are we producing consumer goods or are we producing capital goods? And the second question in what to produce is how much quantity of consumer goods and how much quantity of capital goods. Under how to produce, you have a choice between the technique of production. We have 2 techniques of production, namely labor and capital. Third problem is for whom to produce. Under this, again we have 2 things. First, intersectoral distribution. That is, that which sector are we talking about? Income group, that is lower income group, middle income group or higher income group. The second point is factorial distribution. That is, we are giving money to land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship. Okay, so all these 3 problems, what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce, all these combined can come for 3 marks, or separately each one of them can come for 3 marks. Last year in the paper we had the problem of choice of technique for 3 marks. You were supposed to write that it is deciding between labor intensive and capital intensive techniques of production. Moving forward to the next topic which we have is known as PPC, production possibility curve. Now, when we talk about this PPC, production possibility curve, it defines the potential level of output that can be produced in an economy with the given technology and resources. Please make sure it is a potential level of output which can be produced. It may not be produced right now, but if we employ all the resources, what we can achieve is called the PPC. PPC is the shape of PPC. We take goods Y on Y-axis and goods X on X-axis. The shape of PPC is like this. The shape is known as concave to origin. Okay, now when we talk about this shape concave to origin, before that we need to know there are 3 points: point A, point B and point C. Point A, if we talk about this point A, underutilizes the resources. At point B, all the resources are optimally utilized, and at point C it is not existent point, that is you cannot attain this point. At point A all the resources are fully employed. Sorry, at point A is underutilized. This point is attainable but is underutilized. Point B is optimal point where every economy wants to be. At point C, and point C is the unattainable point because no resources, we have no resources. With all the resources we can only attain point B. So these 3 points are there. Next thing which we have is known as MRT, that is marginal rate of transformation. Now marginal rate of transformation, this is nothing but the slope of PPC. Okay, now when we talk about this MRT, the slope of PPC, the formula is MRT is equal to change in y upon change in x. Fine. Now if we see, this is your PPC. The moment I want to increase x by 1 unit, I need to reduce y by some amount. Suppose we have 10, then 9, 7 and 4. Now let's see, if I have to increase x from 1, at point A we have 1 unit of x and 10 units of y. I want to increase x from 1 to 2. Once I do that, I move to point B. This point has 2, 9, right? So change in y will be 1, that is 10 minus 9, and change in x will be 2 minus 1. So we have minus 1 as the answer. This is your MRT. If I see this 2 minus 1 is from second unit, from first unit I'm moving to the second unit. Fine. Now as I move further from 2 to 3, that is from point B to point C, if you clearly notice, I'm reducing the amount of y more as compared to increase in x. At point C, the change in y is 2 and the change in x is only 1. So now if you see, as we move downwards along the PPC, your MRT will keep on increasing. This is because of the assumption which we have that all resources are not equally efficient in production of both the goods. All resources are not equally efficient in production of both the goods. That is why we have concave shape of PPC. Now concave shape of PPC shows that as we increase x by 1 unit, we need to sacrifice more and more of y. First point. Second point, this is because of increasing MRT. Third point, increasing MRT is because of the assumption that all resources are not equally efficient in production of both the goods. Now all these 3 points combined together gives you the answer of the shape of PPC curve. Coming next, we have the topic of changes in PPC. Now PPC can only change because of 2 things. One is the resources and the other is the technology. Now if we see the resources, all things, land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship, money, all these things come under resources. Now when we increase the resources, or we say there is a growth of resources, for example, there is an inflow of money in the country, so your PPC will increase. It will increase parallel, it will shift parallel rightwards. Okay, suppose a decrease in resources, for example, there was an earthquake, flood in Kerala, or let's say there has been some natural calamity because of which the resources have reduced. This will cause an inward shift or the leftward shift in PPC. Coming to technology, you have upgradation of technology and degradation of technology. Again, the same principle applies. If a new technical advancement has taken place, your PPC will shift upwards. Whereas if a technical advancement has decreased, your PPC will shift downwards. So these are changes. You will get a case study question from this topic about 3 to 4 marks. Okay. Then the last topic which is there in this chapter is MOC, marginal opportunity cost. Marginal opportunity cost is defined as the rate of change in good Y brought about by 1 unit change in good X. So this is nothing but change in Y upon change in X. This thing is same as your MRT. So when we say concavity of PPC, it can also be taken by MRT.